Dr. Mahmoud, you have been working for peace, particularly in Africa, through the United Nations for decades. And you you have a peacemaking process that you call sustaining peace, which is different from uh, the usual program or approach of peace building. Can you speak to what the difference is?
Thank you very much for this introductory question for our conversation. Um, Peace building has been crafted by those who believed in a liberal way of putting broken society together, means that the outsider comes to analyze what's wrong with the country and propose short-term sort of solutions,
Mm.
build peace back.
Mm.
It tends to be driven by the urgency of the moment, understandably. Um, and so the starting point for peace building, it's what's wrong with the country and how can we fix it. Um, Tends to be short term. So the starting point for peace building, it's what's wrong.
Mm.
And it presumes the outsider, the UN, uh, knows how to analyze what's wrong and how to fix it. Sustaining peace, on the other hand, um, posits that peace, while dealing with the urgent, should be the starting point and the end goal.
Mm.
That every society, however broken it may appear, has still threads and stitches that hold it together. And therefore, if you wish to support pathways to peace by that country, identify what is already strong, not only what is wrong.
Mm.
And so peace becomes like a journey, like a tree, actually. It grows from the bottom up and from the inside out. All the other mechanisms are designed to support that type of approach. I should hasten to add that this idea of sustaining peace was put together by an independent panel in 2015 and the UN panel. And it was sort of blessed or approved by the UN Security Council only to fall into the traps of peace building. It has been co-opted. The system has co-opted it.
Can you say more about that? What do you mean?
It means that they thought, they went back to understanding that peace is the absence of violence.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
They fell back into the understanding that if you prevented conflict, you will get peace.
Uh-huh.
Just like saying, I am free of diseases, therefore I'm healthy.
Mhm.
And therefore, if I treated the symptoms of the disease, you will be healthy.
Mhm. It's a very Western approach, isn't it?
Very much so. Very much so. It's a problem solving paradigm.
It's like, I mean, you're bringing in the health example is a really good one because it's so much Western medicine is brilliant at what it does, but what it does is just treat symptoms.
That's right. And it has discouraged those who wish to accompany this process from looking at the structural causes of the ailings suffered by the country concerned, whether they are economical, political, self engineered, or inherited from past histories. And, you know, so unfortunately, it has been captured, keeping few little trappings like consult youth, consult women, and things like that. But the fact that no country is a blank page and its peoples are not projects has somehow uh, uh, gone away from the final resolution that sort of made it consecrated the sustaining peace approach.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Mhm. It's interesting because the sustaining peace approach reminds me very much of appreciative inquiry.
That's correct. Exactly. That's what it
Okay.
is.
Ah,
Look what is strong, not what is wrong. Appreciate what's working well and build on it.
which 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 it expresses a kind of trust, doesn't it?
That's correct.
Can you say more about how trust figures into
Well,
this?
um, I was looking at the word trust in my language, Arabic. Where does it come from?
Yeah, that's nice.
Because, as you know, l- language controls the narrative.
Yeah, and you're a linguist also.
That's my background.
Mm.
I plead guilty. So I always look at what uh, in French, there is no verb to trust. You have to add something before the name.
Uh-huh.
Uh, eh, Arabic, it has thousand meanings, but essentially it means that the word trust comes from the and a word that of what keep or what hold things together when times are stressful.
Uh-huh.
It's also the name of the rope of the bond between us
Uh-huh.
that would get frayed under stress but will not break.
Uh-huh.
Always the thread that keeps holding us together.
That's nice.
Yeah. And so that contract is relational.
Mhm.
And peace essentially is about relations.
Mhm.
Um, and so trust is what maintains that bond between people on opposite sides. They still have so much in common, whatever that is.
Mhm.
And so, in order to help a society or a community to build peace, focus on what they have in common. And one of them, how do they go about building, nurturing, and cultivate trust? What is it in their spirituality, in their way of being and doing that enables them to sustain that bond?
Mhm. It's almost as if that bond of trust is the peace.
Correct, correct. When you look at least in some languages, trust is what keeps fear and doubt at bay in
Mm.
times of stress.
Mm.
And so
And
that's an entry point when people are under stress.
so
Focus on what you have in common. It's the trust is the entry point for building
uh,
peace
yeah,
when people are under stress.
yeah. And how if often that doesn't feel like it's there. How do you work with that? How do you work with how do you build trust in order to build peace?
So obviously, the first thing is you have to be equipped with a whole dose of humility and unknowing.
Mm.
That's the first thing. You have to have developed the capacity to draw on the strength of your ignorance.
Mm.
When you enter in a context you only know through textbooks or casual observation. In other words, suspend certainty when you enter that.
Mm.
And then listen. Listening is deep, so you know what are the bonds of trust that is still intact.
Mm.
So that means asking questions and listen with the intent to understand, not with the intent to solve or help.
Mm.
Suspend judgment. And things will emerge through the questions that you ask.
Mm.
And so one of the questions is, whatever the situation is, can you tell me stories of what is still working in your country?
Mm.
Can you tell me stories about what brought you together?
In the past.
And in the present, what's still holding you
Uh-huh.
in the present?
Mhm.
What's still working?
It's there are two things that go in different directions that come to mind. One is uh one is the as you're saying that, I'm reflecting on something that you wrote about the migrant experience and about like who wants to leave their homeland? Who wants to, who wants to leave their culture, their life, their web of relationships, their to go someplace that they where they know nothing, can't speak. It's like to appreciate what a profound leap of faith that is, and also act of desperation that is. Because what they're saying is that this isn't this social being that is my country no longer works, cannot work. I don't see a possibility that it will come back together. And the tragedy is that we have so many of those situations on this planet right now, stirred by forces of economic greed and power and so forth, and religious difference. But it's quite striking to me the yeah just how peace becomes impossible when when people feel that things are broken beyond repair, that they can't trust in their country to be support life.
That's correct. That's correct. You don't leave your country uh, willingly, and you don't necessarily trust that you will find that dignity once you leave your country.
Mm.
Um, when you look at the word humanity, uh, it has the word unity embedded in it. And what happened with the creations of states and borders that divided nations to make it fit in a state. In Africa, we don't call them borders, we call them wounds.
Mm. Makes sense.
And yeah, and so, uh, and so when you have no trust in where you are, um, no trust in your government, no trust in your neighbors, if you can afford it, you will build all kind of security around you.
Mm,
And yet you may feel more and more secure and feeling less and less safe.
mm,
If you cannot afford and you have no way of securing yourself, you will cross those borders, knowing without a trust that you will be welcomed. And so, crossing that border, you lose your identity as a mother, as a physician, as a nurse.
mm,
You become something else that defines you simply because you survived crossing of that wound. And so trust in that sense is linked to the lack of solidarity,
mm,
which all the studies say at the lowest ever in our times.
mm.
Particularly trust. Trust is 70% lower than a decade ago,
Wow.
according to the barometer, the trust barometer that someone brought to my attention.
Mm,
And this is the symptoms of our times, because when what the system that enables the trust to thrive is broken, is falling apart. And therefore, predictability is falling apart. And therefore, suspicion and fear of the other
mm.
grows.
Yeah. Yeah. I want, can you speak more to what solidarity means in this context?
So, in this context, solidarity is an act of rebellion when you don't trust those who are support who are supposed to nourish and cultivate trust. Let's say your government. Let's take an example.
Mm,
So, for example, and I wrote a short piece on that following the riots in Nairobi, Kenya in 2025, June 2025, where the title is says solidarity is an act of rebellion. Um, that means that people rose up leaderlessly across all ethnic groups to stand as one against injustice. So solidarity is there non-violent. It turned out violent, unfortunately, in Nairobi. Solidarity is standing with the others, shoulder to shoulder, to recover, to sustain what makes us human, what makes us one, regardless of the ethnic, political, economic, spiritual divisions. So solidarity is one way of standing up and with the other because you are one.
mm. It's it's powerful to think about this spontaneous arising of solidarity, which
Sure.
actually, if you hear about people's experience of natural disasters or what's happening in Minneapolis with ice, or what happened in Ukraine at the very beginning of the war when there were many Russians living in Ukraine, and no one knew what side someone was on. The instantaneous leap of trust toward standing together or working together to deal with a hurricane or a typhoon or um, is is a very profound thing. It's actually almost, or you could say it's a spiritual uprising almost, or maybe it is. It should be called that. Um, and the recognition of our shared humanity in this, that we're all neighbors in some way, is a very powerful, is just very, is very powerful and very inspiring. I think the world has been inspired by Ukraine and the efforts of the Ukrainians. They've been inspired by what's happening in Minneapolis and in other parts of the world where disaster is struck and there's an uprising of shared human feeling.
Indeed, and these are eloquent examples, but also depending on the context, um, trust can be then confined to your kin.
Mhm.
Um, so it's the first is to introvert to your tribe, so to speak.
Yeah,
Excuse me. And so when the outside seems hostile
yeah,
and you can no longer trust someone different from you, ethnic or otherwise.
yeah.
Um, so in times of crisis, uh, people recoil to their inner community before it moves outside.
Mm,
And sometimes it creates uh, little islands of belonging
yeah,
um, because the system has made it such that you only feel safety when you are within your community.
mhm,
Other places, depending on the context, if the enemy is common, then the trust enlarges beyond your own
yeah,
hidden.
yeah, I mean, that's the often often this is used cynically, but the the way that a people comes together beyond divisions when facing a common enemy
That's correct.
is a very well-known phenomenon, and one that despots and, uh, those who want to maintain power can often try to use in order to solidify their power.
Indeed. Syria is an example, unfortunately, of that. And
Yeah,
many where the elite in power, uh, uh, you know, use that
yeah,
fear and doubt to consolidate the fiefdoms they control,
yeah,
sustain them in power. It's an illusion, as you know. History is full of lessons in that.
yeah. What is it that makes the difference between, do you have a sense of that?
Difference between
Be
what and
the
what.
difference between a context in which people sort of devolve into small, wha uh, what kin networks or, uh, divisions, m divisions, mistrust, and ones in which there's an uprising of fellow feeling. Is it the degree to which there's a confrontation with a shared enemy or a shared situation that needs everyone's goodwill?
It's a good question. Again, it depends on the context and the economic and political system.
Mm,
But from my uh, experience, when the trust is what you resort to within your own community, It creates horizontal mistrust across other communities. It's, it becomes horizontal,
Mm,
and peace would be much harder.
mm,
And it could be easily weaponized by those who are in power
mm.
to divide.
Yeah.
The enemy becomes your neighbor
Mm,
from a different tribe, from a different linguistic background. It's a way the dominant system manipulates to divide. Whereas if the people rise up as one, then building trust can be negotiated, can be recovered, because there is a mass, and peace much easier than when the society is divided, each finding solace and security within their own kit.
mm.
That's how I see it.
So it depends on the way this,
In the context.
yeah, the context. Now I want to go back to what you said about not knowing, about your engagement in peace processes and the importance of 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 not knowing, of humility.
Yes.
What that in itself is an act of trust.
Trust that those who've invited you to support them in their peace efforts have the solution.
Mhm.
Um, there is an African proverb that says, until the lion learns how to write, the narrative will always glorify the hunter.
Uh-huh.
It means that I am coming, quote, as a peacemaker based on narratives that the UN, let's say, has prepared or the experts have prepared. Because I don't speak their language. They didn't write the language. They didn't tell their story. So I'm carrying the mandate from a Security Council, carrying the narrative written about them. And this is how I am designing my peace efforts. So listening to their stories and suspending the certainties and the narrative that were fed to you is critical. First part. I'll just give you an example of how I go about that. Let's say a particular country, I won't name it. The first question I've asked these people who are feuding over all kind of things for all kind of historical and other reasons. And I asked them, can you imagine the country that you're living in that you would like to bequeath to your grandchildren?
Mm,
Because they all have children, they all are mothers or fathers, they all. So in this particular approach, I made an ally of the future as the starting point.
mhm.
And you'd be surprised what will come out of that. So that's what I meant by humility, means going in not knowing.
Mhm.
Um, it's part of, the type of unlearning every peace sort of uh, uh, peace rebel or peacemonger or peace assistant
Mhm.
is supposed to do is to uh, and let them tell it in their language, so someone can then convey to you what they say. So that's what I meant, going with an attitude of not knowing.
Yeah. But in doing that, you're trusting something. What is
I am
it?
trust- I am trusting that they know.
Uh-huh.
There is another proverb that says, only those that are stepping on embers
Mhm. Ouch.
Know,
Mhm.
there you
Mhm.
are, and know the depth of the wind and how to get out of it.
Uh-huh.
You can be compassionate, you can be empathetic, you can remember your own experience, but it's not the same as people who are learning.
Mm. Beautiful.
So trust is trust that they know,
Mm.
trust that you don't know.
Yeah. So you're extending something to them.
I'm not extending, to be frank with you. I want to uncover what
Uh-huh.
they already have.
Uh-huh. But you trust that it's there.
Absolutely. And experience and history have shown it.
Mm.
Because once they give you clues,
Mhm.
so for example, I'll give you an example. So I asked them to imagine the country that they wish to bequeath to their grandchildren. And one of the things that came out is that I would like them to live in a country where they can relate to the other without fear.
Mm.
So the idea, once they have envisioned that, trust them that they will tell me answers to the next question, which is, do you see signs that gesture to that future that are already visible in the present?
Ah, nice.
Because every system that is broken betrays fissures, um, ruptures, cracks
Mhm.
that the system cannot plaster over. And if you have awakened people, they will, particularly if they have type of leadership necessary, they will harness those signs as regenerative seeds for the future.
So when I said that you're extending something to them, I meant that you are creating a space in which you're saying, "I trust you already know."
Absolutely correct. Thank you for explaining that. Yes, exactly. I am creating a space for them to be in the lead.
Mm,
It's their space.
yeah.
That, so the ownership, they already have it. I just have to acknowledge and create that safe space for them to shoulder it.
Yeah, and you're asking questions that allow them to realize that they already have the beginning of what it is that they're looking for.
That's correct. They have agency.
Mhm.
They're just wallowing under the tyranny of the urgent. People are dying,
Yeah.
they are hungry, and understandably, yeah, there is a humanitarian as an outsider you have to help them with, that's for sure. Um, but use that entry point to start imagining what it could be
So
and
when
trust
you
they
say that again?
and trust that they know.
Uh-huh.
Just give them that space
Yeah.
by dealing first with their urgent needs, and then so they could have the headspace to start envisaging what
Mhm.
peace would look like, what a peaceful country would look like, and trust they know.
What is your overall sense in this time of sort of systemic breakdown? Where what is it that you put your trust in?
Good question. I put my trust that history tells me that after suffering, breakthroughs sometimes comes out of breakdown.
Mhm.
I trust that.
Is that something you've seen?
History shows us
Yeah. Okay.
plenty of historical, from the post-normal Roman all the way to following the Black Death in Europe, the Renaissance, how it grew up out of the ashes of horrors. Um, doesn't mean it's a smooth. Uh, and trust also that because we are living between two narratives,
Mm.
because we are in between two worlds, trust that something is being incubating,
Mm.
but you have to hurry slowly, so to speak. You have to rush. You have to pause. So pause becomes your compass,
Mm.
and uncertainty becomes your teacher. So
Mm.
you have to trust that sooner or later things will change. And then you have to ask a question: am I going to be a victim of what is ending, or contribute to be an architect to what is wants to be born?
Mhm.
So trust is critical in that interregnum,
Yeah.
guided by history and by lessons and by our spirituality and by so many other guidances that you have.
Yeah. And and also it also calls for us to have the trust, not to overuse the term, to decenter from even our own lifespan. That
That is correct.
that we're all on this planet to work towards something that we who are alive now may not see.
That is beautifully said. Um, we've had a conversation about a month ago with senior high school students
Mm.
in the New York area, and the subject that was selected by them was how to be a good ancestor as the responsibility of the 21st century.
Mm.
Um, because they felt they had no choice inheriting what their ancestors bequeathed them,
Mhm.
good and not so good. And they want to not repeat that mistake. And so that is one way of being a human in this transitional period,
Mm.
is to ask the question, what is it that I should do, how I should be, so I can plant seeds of a tree on under whose shade I will never sit, as you implied.
Mm. Nice. I think that's a beautiful place to wrap up, unless there's something further that you feel should be said or would be useful.
Now, I think we've covered some ground.
Yeah.
Thanks for your question.
Well, thank you for your beautiful answers and life experience and heart. Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Mm. I wish you all the best.
Same to you, my sister. Same to you.
Mm.
Thank you.